We talk a lot about physical clutter, the things filling our cupboards, garages and spare rooms, but we don't always think about our digital clutter in the same way. Every photo you keep, every duplicate sitting in your library, every cloud backup running quietly in the background has an impact. It uses storage, it uses energy, and over time it adds up to your digital carbon footprint. And the tricky thing is, digital clutter doesn't feel real. You can't see it piling up. There's no box of overflowing in the corner. It just sits quietly in the background, on your phone, in the cloud, and across your devices, growing year after year. In this video, I'm going to explain what your digital carbon footprint actually is, why your photo collection plays a part in it, and what you can do to reduce the waste without deleting the memories that matter. And stay with me until the end, because I'll share one simple 5-minute habit that can make the biggest difference over time. What is your digital carbon footprint and why it matters? Let's start with what this actually means, because it can sound quite big and a bit abstract. Your digital carbon footprint is essentially the environmental impact of all the data you store and use. Every photo you take is stored somewhere. It's backed up, synced across devices, and often duplicated across different platforms. And all that data lives in a data center. And I often say, there's no such thing as the cloud, it's just someone else's computer. And those computers, those data centers, use electricity. Not just to store your data, but to keep servers running, to cool them down, and to make everything accessible all the time. Now, most people take thousands of photos every year, but very few delete anything. So those photos sit on your phone, in the iCloud or Google Photos, maybe on your computer, shared on WhatsApp, and often saved again somewhere else. And every one of those versions takes up space. The more duplication there is, the more storage is needed. And because most of it sits in the cloud, that means ongoing energy use. It's not a one-time thing, it's continuous. So it's not about one photo, it's about thousands of photos duplicated across multiple places, constantly being stored and synced in the background. And that's where the impact starts to build. It feels invisible, but it isn't free. The biggest digital clutter culprits. So what's actually causing most of this? The first one is duplicates. The same photo ends up on your phone, in the cloud, on backups, and often in messaging apps like WhatsApp. Multiply that across thousands of images and it adds up quickly. Then we have good old screenshots and general junk. Things you meant to keep for 5 minutes and end up staying forever. Tickets, receipts, random captures, they all sit there taking up space. Then there's auto backups everywhere. A lot of people have multiple services all syncing the same photos without really realizing it. So you're storing the same content multiple times without meaning to. Videos are another big one. They take up far more space than photos, especially longer clips that you probably won't ever watch again. And then there's what I call the just-in-case mindset. Keeping everything because it feels easier than deciding what can go. And that's completely normal. It's just how modern tech encourages us to behave. So this isn't about guilt, it's about understanding what's going on. What actually makes a difference? Now the good news is you don't need to do anything extreme to make a difference here. It's just about being a bit more intentional. The first thing is reduce before you organize. There is no point in organizing things you don't actually want to keep. So start by removing duplicates, screenshots, and anything obvious. The second is being intentional with storage. You don't need everything syncing everywhere. One main system is usually enough with a proper backup alongside it. That leads into the third point. Limiting duplicate backups. Having multiple backups isn't the problem. but having multiple active libraries syncing the same content can be. So aim for one primary library and then a structured backup, rather than multiple versions floating around. Another thing that makes a big difference is a regular cleanup. Small, consistent habits are far more effective than big, overwhelming clearouts that never quite happen. And finally, be mindful with video. It's often the biggest storage drain, so being a bit more selective here can have a surprisingly large impact. And this is where a small mind shift really helps, being more mindful when you're taking photos in the first place. You don't need 10 versions of the same shot. Take a couple and choose the best, and move on. It reduces clutter before it even builds up. If you're watching this and thinking, this all makes sense, but your photos still feel completely overwhelming, you are definitely not alone. Most people don't struggle because the ideas are difficult, they struggle because no one's ever shown them a clear process to follow. That's exactly what I help with inside my Photo Mess Success courses. They guide you step by step through reducing, organizing, and setting up a system that actually works. So everything we're talking about here becomes much easier to put into practice. So if you want more information, just head on over to photomesssuccess.co.uk. But for now, back to that digital footprint. Why this matters for photo organizing. Overall, when it comes to your digital carbon footprint, this is where photo organizing matters more than people realize. When your photos are organized, you naturally reduce duplication. You're less likely to keep multiple versions of the same thing, and it becomes much easier to manage everything over time. A clear system also means you're not constantly resaving, re-downloading, or re-uploading photos because you can't find them, which is something people do far more often than they realize. So, good organization isn't just about neatness, it actually reduces digital waste, simply by making your photos easier to manage, easier to find, and easier to maintain. But just to be really clear, this isn't about deleting your memories. It's not about being perfect. And it's definitely not about feeling guilty about how many photos you've taken. This is just about awareness, making small practical changes that make your digital life easier to live with and happen to have a wider impact as well. Bonus tip. So here's that simple habit I mentioned at the start, and honestly, this one makes the biggest difference over time. Just do a 5-minute photo tidy. Open up your photos from today, delete anything you don't want, keep your favorites, and maybe a quick rating or keyword if needed. It doesn't sound like much, but this is what stops everything building up in the first place. Because remember, every photo you keep is stored, backed up, and synced. So when you reduce even a small amount consistently, you are not just tidying your library, you're reducing the amount of data being stored over time. And that's where the real impact comes from. Not just one big clear out, but small regular decisions that keep things under control. If you want to continue your photo organizing journey, then check out this little video next, where I show you exactly where to start when organizing your digital photos. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more photo organizing tips. Have fun rediscovering your memories. I'll see you in my next video.